Ladies and gentlemen, this is really a sad story. What's going on in Chicago? Um, it's just really scary. This is why I said a lot of people said we need to do better. Um, we don't know what caused this shooting in the first place. This article comes from the Chicago's very own Channel 9 of WGN. They said that the shooting at a baby shower wounded two kids, four adults on the South Side. Friends and family were celebrating a birthday and a baby shower in front of a West Englewood home Saturday when someone inside a passing SUV fired into the crowd, wounding two children and four adults. People were gathered outside of a house near 63rd and Sealy around 6:30 p.m. Saturday when witnesses say a red Chevy. um, the name here. Equinox. Equinox. If I pronounce it wrong, tell me. But Chevy Equinox drove down 64th Street and someone inside shot at the group. An 8-year-old boy was hit in the chest and back, and a 10-year-old girl was wounded in the chin. A 29-year-old woman was shot in the shoulder and chest, and three others adults ranging in age from 23 to 42 were also shot. She's screaming. People across the street are screaming. Kids are running around. Witnesses Lamont Record said, "This little boy and his mom is putting pressure on his chest from the gunshot wound to his chest." As police arrived, they performed CPR on an 8-year-old boy who suffered at least one collapsed lung. Paramedics continued life-saving efforts as they rushed him to the Comfort Children's Hospital, applying a needle decompression procedure in the ambulance. To see that little boy literally on the ground in front of my feet fighting for his life is so traumatizing, community activist Lamont Recker said. People from the baby shower, some covered in blood, made their way over to Commerce Children's Hospital. By Sunday morning, both the boy and the girl shot in the shin were stabilized, as were three of the adult victims. The 29-year-old woman shot in the chest is still in critical condition at Christ Hospital. The boy's mother posted an update on social media Sunday night, thanking the community for their support and prayers and saying her son is not out of the woods yet, but that she sees the light at the end of the tunnel. Police believe the shooting could have been related to ongoing gang violence. I'm going to explain that in a second. In the neighborhood, CPD spokesman Anthony Guglielmi said Sunday that based on victim profiles, detectives suspects the shooting was retaliation for earlier incident. Royal priest Meshat said it's a tragedy that the young people in the neighborhood are killing each other. Detectives said they received conflicting information from witnesses that at the scene, but about four men were believed to be inside the SUV at the time of the shooting. It's senseless. They have a right to gather together and to congregate. You don't have the right to discharge that weapon at anybody, victim advocate Andrew Holmes says. While visiting the kids at Commerce Children's Hospital Sunday morning, Mayor Rahm Emanuel said he knows the family of an 8-year-old boy and had given his brother a bike at a back to school event. Emanuel called on the community to help police hold the shooter or shooters accountable. "I'm sick as everyone else in the city, sick and tired," Emanuel said. "You have nothing but a bunch of gangbangers thinking our streets are their firing range." Mayor-elect Lori Lightfoot said she's heartbroken about the incident on Twitter. "No parent should fear their child's safety. We must stop the epidemic of gun violence in our city," Lightfoot wrote. "The investigation is ongoing. No one is in custody at this time." So that is the end of the article. This is a tweet from the Chicago police chief Anthony Guglielmi about the shooting. You know, we haven't heard about this, shootings in Chicago for a while, and basically, and now this situation happened. When you hearing reports that 30 people shot, 40 people shot, and it always happens either on holidays or on weekends. Now, this shooting, and what's so sad about it, two kids were shot, and also four adults was also shot in the south side of Chicago. Now, a lot of people said it because of gang violence. Now, we heard that before. Remember I think a couple of years ago they talking about when they had Memorial Day weekend, there's been shootings, 30 people, 40 people shot and everything else. And it's kind of suspicious that, it always happens on weekends. We never heard any shootings like that before. You notice that, right? So, it's been a while that we heard a lot of stories about the shootings in Chicago, and it's sort of tragic because there's kids involved in this. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play, this news story. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, reaction will not show you the video, but you will hear the audio of this news story. So here it is.
I visited with the two children. The young boy, I know his brother from a time I gave him a bicycle as a back-to-school effort. I know the grandmother who works at the Walmart in Pullman. I've been with them before.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have some technical difficulties.
Unfortunately, the circumstances this time were tragic. An 8-year-old boy shot in the chest and back. His 10-year-old female cousin hit in the shin at a baby shower in West Englewood Saturday night.
Some people just came up and was shooting, and I started running.
She's screaming. People across the street are screaming. The little baby boy literally and his mom is putting pressure on his chest from the gunshot wound that he had to his chest.
Witnesses say a red Chevy Equinox drove down 64th Street near Sealy, firing into the crowd. As police arrived, they performed CPR on the 8-year-old boy. Paramedics continued life-saving efforts on the way to the hospital. Police say the boy had a collapsed lung. 4 adults were also shot.
The only way we can solve this gun violence is turn in the shooters. That's just simple as that. The babies didn't have nothing to do with whatever was going on over there. Just probably a gathering over there because the weather is warm. Then we got an idiot discharging a weapon, shooting multiple people.
Those at the baby shower arrived at Comer Children's Hospital last night, some covered in blood. Police believe the shooting could have been retaliation related to ongoing gang violence in the neighborhood. Mayor-elect Lori Lightfoot tweeting today about the incident, saying she's heartbroken and that no parent should fear their child's safety. We must stop the epidemic of gun violence in our city.
Now 2 kids' lives, even though they're unbelievably resilient, will never be the same. There's no sense of remorse by these gangbangers. There's no sense of accountability by these gangbangers. And for those families, those mothers and fathers and grandparents, that is wrong. And for our children, that is wrong, who were just enjoying their childhood.
The adults shot range in age from 23 to 42 years old. The most seriously injured was a 29-year-old woman shot in the chest and shoulder, taken to Christ Hospital.
Okay, people. That is the end of the news story. I'm gonna say it like this, and the big question is, why would a quote unquote gangbanger targeting children and women at a birthday slash, baby shower? Why would anyone want to target a child knowing that there's kids there and there's women there? See, this doesn't add up. And we haven't heard from, like I said earlier, that we haven't heard anything about shooting.
It doesn't take long to realize
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't heard about that in a while. We've been hearing about what's going on in Chicago. 30 people shot, 40 people shot. But I mean, it really was remain quiet. So why now then this happens? And see, the thing of it is that we really don't know what's going on in Chicago. And then, and now Mayor Rahm Emanuel come out, and it's really, really sad, when you talk about, well, I know the grandmother of the alleged victim, or I know the children there. But my point is that we haven't heard anything in Chicago. It was really relatively quiet. And now all of a sudden, this incident happened. So, and then what's making so saddened, again, like I said, I'm going to repeat this, what made this story saddened is that you're targeting women and children. That's what's so saddened about this story. 2 children shot, 40 adults, female, I believe majority of females been shot. And so, if I mean, I'll put it like this: if it's really gang violence, then obviously they're cowardly and they need to be brought to justice. But somehow, some way, and like I said before, we heard these stories before. Because again, before this incident happened, I think Chicago is relatively quiet when it comes to gun violence up there. And now this incident happened. So again, if this is basically cowardly, and again, I hope these kids will make it. I pray they will be okay. Along the adults that was a victim, that was involved, that was injured in the shooting. But this is ridiculous. And again, we heard this. The city of Chicago's already been marked by gun violence. But at the same time, it was relatively quiet until this incident happened. Let me know. Tell me what you think about this. Like, click, subscribe. Click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.